Well,
Thank you. There you go.
thank you. And hi, everybody. You guys, hung in there. I love it. I love it. And
Teamwork
I'm,
makes the dream work, ladies, right?
yay. Thank you, Tracy Joe. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I got a call from Jennifer asking me to talk a little bit about, how do we build our self-esteem to be successful in our business? And I was thrilled to receive that request. So I am here today, and I've had a lot of fun putting my notes together. And I want this, I'm going to share some stuff and we'll have time for some interaction. And I just want to start out and say that, you know, the cornerstone to all success, it doesn't matter if it's network marketing or anything else, is belief. And in our profession, it starts out with, four different dimensions of belief. So I recommend everyone take a pen out and do a little assessment for yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. What is your belief in the products with LifeWave on a scale of 1 to 10? And then what is your belief in the company on a scale of 1 to 10? And I think we need to mute the lines, Jen.
I think, yes, I
That would
do.
be
I
good.
think it's, believe it or not, Michael's, because it's Tracy Joe. So I got to find that.
Did you
Yes,
make me, why
I
don't you
did.
make me a co-host? Yeah, great.
Yeah, if she
Belief in the
made me,
company.
there we go. There you are. Thank you, madam. So, okay,
Great.
You guys got
yes.
it. You got
And
it.
I still have to mute our girl there. Okay, mute. Okay, I think I did it. Okay, we're good.
Good, 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 good. So the first one was belief in the products of LifeWave on a scale 1 to 10. Then belief in the company on a scale 1 to 10. Then belief in the profession on a scale of 1 to 10. And then belief in yourself to be successful in network marketing on a scale of 1 to 10. So why don't we open up the chat so you guys can share which area do you need is a 7 or below. Why don't you just write it in the chat? Okay, someone's got a 4, Jill. Okay, so why don't you write in the chat what that is? Because that's the area to work on. If I'm working with someone and they're stuck, they're just not having the success that they want in this business, this is where I go because it will help me better understand where to put my time and attention with them because they could be doing everything right. But if they, let's say had a weird experience with the company and their belief isn't as high or, one of their family members kind of beat them up because they didn't believe in the profession, who knows what it might be, but the belief in self to be successful in this profession. And many times people come, especially to LifeWave, that have never been in network marketing before. And that may be many of you guys if you've never been in this business. So I'm going to talk about that. And I think you've heard Gregory and I say success is not magical, it's mathematical. So, and it is a relationship business first and foremost. One of the things that I would give some of my coaching clients as homework is to go out in the field and make 10 new contacts every week. And you're not allowed to talk about the product or the business at all.
Ah,
It's a muscle. I know. It's different, isn't it? And
wow.
it's all about developing connection and relationship. Because when you have that, people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so you want to take the time. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but when I started out in this business, I did everything wrong. And it's probably good for you guys to know that. I mean, I did everything wrong. And I just, and I don't know how it happened, but my check kept doubling every month. But there was something not right. So I became a student of this business model. This is a different business model than conventional business. In conventional business, you become an expert and people come to you for your expertise. In network marketing, success comes from simplicity and duplication. So if you've had success in the conventional business world, it does not always transfer over. The belief in yourself to be successful will transfer, but learning a new business model. So I became a student of the business and I started reading books. And I was going through my bookshelf and I pulled out like a whole bunch and it was really fun to do that. And I was going through some of them, and really, I invite you to go to your upline and ask them for their favorite resources. I mean, a lot of people like Eric Worre's book, Going Pro. Judy Daniel loves the book, Your First Year in Network Marketing. I think, and what I've done is I've downloaded several of these books. I have several and I've read a bunch of them, but like Your First Year in Network Marketing, I downloaded on Audible. And when I travel, I listen to it. And Jim Rohn is one of my favorites. And I got his whole collection. It's like 8 hours worth on Audible. And when I'm traveling, I listen to it and I learn all kinds of things because this is a personal development program with a compensation plan. And Jim Rohn says work twice as hard on yourself as you do on your business because you are your business. And if any of you have never been in network marketing before or have never been an entrepreneur, it's a different animal than what you're used to. And so it takes, building that muscle and becoming educated to learn about this model. And many of you know that I always recommend people listen to Darren Hardy. There's a 90-minute audio that's available on Live Younger Success in the Getting Started section under the last tab called Network Marketing Videos. It's actually an audio. It's 90 minutes. And I did everything wrong in the business when I started because I had no training, I had no support, I had no upline that knew anything, I had no tools. And I was determined because I love this product that I was working with. This is before LifeWave. I love the product. I love the business. I love the vision, but I didn't know anything. And I came from the conventional business world. And so when I listened to that audio, making the shift, the mindset necessary to be successful in this business, I woke up and I went, oh my gosh. And he talks about the different landmines we fall in. And this is a way to shortcut your learning curve to our business. It made a huge difference for me. I have personally listened to it dozens of times. And I have recently listened to it again. I got it many, many years ago. I used to purchase the CD. I purchased by the hundreds and make sure all my teammates had them. And now it's available free on YouTube. And we did put it on the Live Younger Success site. And whether you've been in network marketing before or you're new, I recommend everybody listen to it because you're going to come across people that are brand new. And the mindset necessary to be successful really comes, there's a main distinction that Darren Hardy talks about. If you're talking, you're pointing to a tool. So if you're new in this business model, the tendency is if someone asks you a question, you want to answer it. So I want to take things a little bit further because and talk about Jim Rohn, who's also under the tab on network marketing videos, and he has some great resources. And I've downloaded his anthology, which is like 9 hours, and I listened to that. I put it on 1.5 speed, but there's so much wisdom there. And he says work twice as hard on yourself as you do on your business because you are your business. And many of you know that I have a background of helping launch the 7 Habits book by Stephen Covey. And what Stephen used to talk about is in the 7 Habits, the first 3 habits are the private victory and then the public victory. And what he says, if you want to build your own self-esteem, it's like you want to make commitments to yourself and keep them. Nobody knows what you do when no one's looking. If you say you're going to make, 3 new calls a day, 5 days a week, and you don't do it, well, who's the only one who knows that? or if you say you're going to exercise so many times a week and you do or don't do that, to build our own belief in ourself is to make and keep promises to ourself. And I hope that makes sense to everyone. That's what he calls the private victory. What are you doing when no one else is looking? And that stays with me a lot. Whether it's, making choices on how you're eating, sleeping, resting, hydration, whatever, but you want to make commitments that you can keep. When someone says, I'm going to exercise an hour a day, 7 days a week, you're setting yourself up for failure. So make those goals or intentions really something that are doable. And so when you start stepping into making goals for yourself, you want to set goals for your business that are achievable. A lot of you know that we have something called the GROW model, which is a coaching model. And the first step is to develop a SMART goal. A SMART goal you know, is a goal that is something that is achievable. And so when we go through the process, we reassess, does it make sense? Someone says, I want to get to this rank in the next month, and they're nowhere near it. Does it make sense? And so again, we're setting ourselves up for failure if we don't have things be achievable. Oops. Julianne Ford. Sorry about that. I got to turn my phone off. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Um, so, um, one of the things that I learned from another program that I was involved with called Enlightened Leadership was, was when you want to make a change and what we say to ourselves, we first want to make a decision. I'm deciding that I am going to be successful in this business model. So we had a model called DNA. Decide, notice, acknowledge, because what we acknowledge, we get more of. So if I'm deciding that I'm going to be successful in this business, then I want to notice every little teeny thing that is successful. If I made a new friend, if I introduced this to someone new, it's like that was a success. I want to notice that and acknowledge it. And it becomes this upward spiral. So this is how we get more of what we want is we make a decision, we notice when we have it, and then we acknowledge it. It's like we all like those little pats on the back. And I think we all know that consistency is one of the most important things in this business. Most people do this part-time. It's a very small percentage of people that do this full time. So when you have so many hours a week that you're going to devote to this, you want to put that time consistently into income producing activities. And we have a daily method of operation, which is you're connecting with people. You're introducing them and piquing their interest on what we have. You're sharing tools, you're following up, you're enrolling. And to be consistent in whatever that time you have is, it's really fun to be on a whole bunch of calls. But if you don't have a lot of time, you have to strategically pick the calls that will serve your needs best. So what's important for you at this stage of your own development? And so when you pick these, achievable goals, and if you're not sure what they are, really reach out to a mentor. So your upline support. When I was new in this business, someone wise said to me, find a mentor. And that mentor is someone who's more experienced than you, who can hold a vision for what's possible for you, and someone who shares values with you. And then 4 years later, I married him. So I got really lucky on that one. And I've learned a tremendous amount from Gregory. And I don't think I'd be where I am if I didn't have, the learning and education and wisdom from all of his years of being very successful in the field and in corporate and as a consultant in this profession. And so, you want to be consistent in your behavior and pick things that you can accomplish. And it's not that it has to be a lot, because in our business model, one person can change your life. In the enhanced compensation plan, we're going to need at least 3 people to move through the ranks. It used to be 2, and now it's 3. But the purpose for that is to help us create a sustainable organization, something that we can have as a legacy that we can pass down through generations. So I want to take a quick little breather here because I want to see if you've got a question or comment about anything I shared so far. You want to raise your hand or unmute your line? I am open here because I can keep talking and talking and talking. Okay, Allie, hi, hon.
Hi,
You got a whole bunch of people coming to visit you this week.
I know it's going to be an incredible experience. I'm really excited to be meeting my upline in person, 5 of them flying in, so that'll be fun. And then
I'm excited you're coming. I didn't mean to cut you off, and I'm going to pop off my camera real quick just so I can
so I can see who
see
Tracy
you.
Jones is.
Hi.
Hi,
Because
so
I don't
good
get to
to
come,
meet
but I
you.
did get the blow dry my hair.
Oh, I haven't even showered yet today, so I've just
Oh,
been on the go since I was doing something on my phone and a text came through and it was questions about the business and she hadn't even enrolled yet. And yeah, I was like, okay, let's just jump on a call real quick. And so the day took off, but I feel
anyway, I just
like,
wanted to see you because I'm really wishing I could come and go in the hot springs and on the hike and all of that, but it should be great. Y'all take care of Michael when he's there. I'm gonna
yeah,
take
we
care of my
will. And
mom. So, but I'm gonna pop off and let you finish. I just wanted to say hi.
thank you, Tracy Joe. I'm so glad to have a face to go to the name. I appreciate it. And Robin, I appreciate everything you have shared thus far. It's all stuff I've heard in the past. And um, yesterday, a story I want to share is yesterday I've got like multiple books going right now. But one of them that I was drawn to, I have an audio book going, right? And I also have a paper book going. So there's times I want to listen to something. Anyways, one of the books is Dance of Anger. And as I was listening to it on my drive back from a meeting, I was like, yeah, I am. There's actually some anger on
I am loving your face.
Hi, Tracy Joe. We
Oh,
love your audio texting. Anyhow, the business that I came over from, the end of month is we would get paid, and there was always so much stress around that plan. And over time, there's been this dance of anger that happens cyclically every single month. And I was like thinking about that during this audiobook. And I thought, this is so good for me to be reminded of. We cannot act from a clear point if we're feeling anger. And so I decided, I was like, there's nothing that has to be done. I have a whole list of tasks to do, but nothing that has to be done or would be smart for me to do from this mindset. And so I sat down with the audiobook and I just started taking notes to use as reminders for when a situation of similar nature comes up again. And lo and behold, I'm 20 or so minutes in, and as I'm, my audiobook's on my phone, and a call comes in, and it's a referral. And I was in so much better of a headspace that I could take it. And then since then, I had 3 more leads, 2 of them being people that are interested in also enrolling others come in since then. So that's just a win that I wanted to share based on taking care of us first is so important if you really want to have a successful business.
Oh, well, I'm going to feed on that one before. I had that further on in my talk, but I really address what you said. And, self-care is really an important part. And in this business, it is a personal development program with compensation plan. And I can promise each of you, whatever is up for you in your life, whether it be, talking to a stranger, picking up the phone, following it, whatever is a challenge for you is going to show up. And if you choose to work with it, you will blossom and grow beyond your expectations. So embracing your own learning. And I just want to address Ellie. I used to be on a monthly plan. We called it month end madness. And it was like every month it would happen. It was like crazy making. And I'm so happy we don't have this in LifeWave. We have a weekly pay period, not a monthly one. So thank you for sharing that because it's really powerful. And when you work on yourself, it will affect your business. And so being a student and being a student in personal development and a student of the product and a student of the business are all really important to build your own confidence. Lynn, you've got your hand up, my dear.
Robin, real quickly, one thing I want to say, I want to invite people to jump in when we have these opportunities, because every time we get to bear our testimony on an experience like this, it ingrains it in us as better behavior to keep carrying out.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Lynn, you want to unmute?
Hi, Robin. It's so wonderful to see you tonight.
Always a treat to see you, darling.
So I loved when you were talking about how our business is a personal development plan where we get to earn income. And I remember so I've been with my second family here for close to a year and a half. I remember in the beginning how hard it was to pick up the phone. And, there's extensive training, pick up the phone. And I was more text, email. Well, that's not relationship. That doesn't build the best relationships. It builds relationships, yes, but not the best. And so I would practice and practice and practice. And because of that, the world I live in now, I'm constantly picking up the phone, calling a lot of people who are very well known. And I just need to, and I do it, and I do it well, I do it gracefully, and I do it wonderfully. And I attribute a lot of that to my practice. I feel like we get a lot of practice in your safe greenhouse here, Robin, you and Gregory's. Yes, and then it carries over then, not just in our business here, but in all walks of life to continue to be successful. And I'm grateful.
Thank you so much. And one of my great gifts in this business is to witness people blossoming. Because when I first met Lynn, she has everything it takes to go to the top, but she'd never been in this business model before. It was all new. And she kept working and working and working on herself. And she's just moving through the ranks and developing an amazing organization and changing a lot of lives in so many wonderful ways. So very exciting. Denise, hi, hon.
So nice to see you.
You
Hi,
too, sweetie.
Stacy.
Oh, good. I wanted to share a little bit about holding space for your prospects. Just some of my own personal experience, some of the things that I've done. And I'll never call them mistakes. Okay. We're here learning and we're growing, and I don't think we can make a mistake when our intention is pure and our heart is pure and all we really want is to help people. And in that journey, we're also learning to make space for people for where they're at. And so I can see a prospect and I'm like, oh, I have a vision for them, right? But it might not be their vision. Even though I can see that it would be explosive and they have access to prospects that I don't. What I'm learning, and it's a process. I'm learning that it's okay for me to hold space for somebody that's showing interest and has great potential, but not to put all your focus there. Don't forget the people, there's other people, and they deserve just as much of our attention, our time, our heart, and holding space for them as well. So that's just something I'm learning in my journey. And I believe that vision or that manifestation that I started is going to produce one way or the other. It will.
And you keep holding that intention, and it's amazing what will happen. And sometimes we see their potential, but they're not ready, or for whatever reason. And sometimes I want to shake people because they don't need to suffer. Whether it's physically or financially. But if it's not the right time for them, if they're not open, our job is to really support people to get from where they are to where they want to be. And it might not be the right time. And so to realize, one of the things I like to talk about is when you look at your organization, where's the juice? It doesn't matter what kit someone got. It doesn't matter what rank they are. It matters how excited they are. And that feeds me into, the next part is, really seeking feedback, which is, if we're growing and we're going to a place we've never been before, we want to get help from people that have been there, that can see us. I live with Gregory, and in the early days, he used to say, Robin, you're spending way too much time with that person. It's because I could see what was possible, but they weren't really doing their end, just like you're talking about, Denise.
Yeah,
And so I had to, really shift, you know, our time is our most precious resource. Who are you
100%.
working with and how much time are you putting in? So really use feedback as a tool for your own growth. Because, back to what you were saying, Denise, is every time, you do something, there's never a failure.
Yeah.
And getting rejected is one of the hardest things in our profession because people are taking it personally. And
Mhm.
one of my mentors, named Nikki Kiahoho from the Direct Selling World Alliance, she said, when you go to a restaurant and the waitress is passing around the dessert platter and people don't take it, she doesn't take it he or she don't take it. They don't take it personally.
Good
It's
point.
just, so we have to let go of it being a personal rejection. It's just that the timing or whatever is not a fit for that person, or they just not interested, and that's when we go next. And so
Yes.
being able to deal with rejection in a way and not take it personally is a huge part of building our own self-esteem because a lot of people they fear any kind of what they call sales because there's so much rejection, but the people that are most successful are the ones that have heard no the most. There's a really fabulous program called Go for No. And that program is by Andrea Waltz and Richard Fenton. I recommend it to everybody. And when I first heard it, because I taught conscious languaging for so long, that's going to feed me into where I'm going next, is we get more of what we focus on. And why do I want no? But when I learned from them, and I've interviewed Andrea many times, and it's a brilliant program for our profession because it's just no is on the way to yes. And what
Yeah.
we lack in skill, we make up in the different the amount of contacts that we make. So over time it's actually really powerful to get lots of no's and practice and see how many no's does it take for you to get to a yes. And then that feeds into what's going on in our head about ourself. What kind of self-talk is going on? And to be an observer and know that the two most powerful words in the English language are I am. To pay attention, what are you saying after the I am? And it could be, I am sick, I am tired, I am not good at this, I am blah, 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 blah. So the first choice, and back to Stephen Covey's work, being proactive, is really paying attention. We have the power to choose our response when something happens. And so when you're watching yourself, and then we have the power to choose what are we going to say to ourselves? Because it's what's going on in here that controls what comes out here and the kind of results we have. So paying attention to our own languaging and especially how we're treating ourselves. And one of my absolute favorite tools, I have been in the personal development field for, I don't know, 4 or 5 decades. I think 5 right now. And my favorite tool of all is the power of living in a question. As a leadership trainer, we would stand up in front of the room and knew that it wasn't our job to tell people things. It was our job to create the environment and ask the questions so people could access their own knowing. So the questions that we live in for ourselves, like, what's it going to take for me to get to that next level? What do I need to work on now? What's most important? Einstein started living in the questions on the theory of relativity when he was 4 years old. It took a while to get there, but when you look at successful people in any arena, it's the power of the questions that they live in. Michael, he loved being in the water. He wanted to be a frogman, It's like, what's it going to take? He wanted to be a Navy SEAL. What's it going to take to get there? And then we have to listen. We want to listen to what our own wisdom has because I believe, and this is what we trained, is that the answers were always in the room. Our job was to ask the questions for you to access your own wisdom. And so practicing healthy self-talk, really do that with yourself. I am getting better and better at this every day. I am attracting the perfect people that are looking for what we have and the kind of people I want to work with. I am learning and growing and beyond my wildest expectations. I am creating a successful business beyond what I ever thought was possible. I think many of you know when I started with LifeWave, I started as a customer. I had no intention of being, a business builder. And you never know what's going to happen to people. I was just looking for a product that I needed, and I couldn't not share. And then I felt this sense of responsibility to share. So really realizing that, what's going on in our heads is such an important tool, but we have to pay attention. Really listen to your own self-talk. And if you need to focus on doing affirmations, of creating I am statements, I actually came across a card that I created for myself. I don't know how many years ago it was. It was many, many years ago. And it's a whole card of I am statements. And it's like, okay, I am an inspiration and catalyst for others to live their full potential as I live mine. I am inspired every day with the opportunity to work in partnership with Gregory, giving our best gifts and service. And it goes on and on and on in the different dimensions of life. And you can tell this is an old card. You can see how young I look, huh? It's quite a while ago. But I invite you to do that because that will make a huge difference in building your own confidence to do this because this business is available for anyone from any background. It's a level playing field and it really depends on your openness and willingness to work on yourself. And, going back to the rejection thing, it's always a part of our learning, like Denise said. When I was with Enlightened Leadership, we said after every project we did, after every event we did, we'd ask what went well and what could we do even better. And so when you're doing a presentation or you're talking to someone, to live in that, that will support you to be in continuous improvement, constantly living in the question, what, no judgment. There's nothing about what did I do wrong? Why did I do that? The question why typically ends up in judgment. So we can use why for a thing, like why did that, tool not work? That's okay. But we don't ever want to use it for ourselves. What, when, who, how, what could I do even better to have had that conversation be more effective? So, really living in those questions can make such a difference in yourself. And so, let's see, I got a few more notes here and then we'll open up for some more questions. You know, it's a relationship business, and relationships are based on communication. We all could do better in communication, asking good questions and listening. I don't know anyone that wouldn't benefit from improving their listening skills. And if you choose to improve your listening skills with people that know you, we used to do this in 7 Habits. Let them know you're working on them because it may be a little awkward at first. They're going to think you're weird. But truly, when people feel heard, when people feel understood, and I always like to share my favorite Covey quote, the deepest need of the human soul is to be appreciated, acknowledged, affirmed, and understood. And when you're a good listener, people feel understood. And what happens is they and, Stephen used to talk about it's not the layers of the onion. He used to talk about the layers of the artichoke. Because when you peel off the layers of the onion, what do you end up with? The middle of an onion. But when you're talking to people and they feel heard, typically their initial responses are very superficial. But when they really feel heard and understood, they'll go deeper and deeper to get to the heart of what's really going on. And it takes time and trust to get to that place because our job is to help people get more of what they want. And we're doing this business to get more of what we want. So being really clear, why are you doing this? And there's all kinds of wonderful trainings on your why, but that will make a huge difference to make that decision. So and then paying attention to what's in your environment. Who are you surrounding yourself with? If there's a lot of negativity from people, guess what that does to you? It affects your environment. And so, really surround yourself in a positive environment around positive people that are affirming and supportive to where you want to go, that say, you can do this. I know, I believe in you. Makes such a difference. So, let's see. Um, I think what I'd like to do now, because we just have a few more minutes, I want to honor the time, even though we started late, and open up for any comments or questions from anyone to see if, this is, is this helpful for you to be more confident in being successful in our business? Yeah, Michelle. You want to unmute?
Well,
Thanks.
this what you're saying has just come full circle for me, and it's a short little story. So my background, which I've talked about, publishing, advertising, design. One of my jobs that was my last job I've ever done, which was during COVID time, 3 houses. I had a client that had Versailles furniture, but I wanted to put in modern and some artwork. So I found this wallpaper that I liked from Europe. It was I am written. It was Van Gogh's wallpaper. And what I did is I did her house and I did it in the purple I am. She had to move. And then she said, I can't leave the wallpaper. I said, we'll find it in another color. We found it in gold and we brought it to the next house. And so she didn't really connect the I am until the second house. And then she saw it and she kept on saying, I am, this is it. I am in my house. But the quote, it comes full circle to you. It's the avatar, it's the background. The quote is, I am still far from being who I want to be. Van Gogh.
I love it. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was great. That was great.
Okay.
It's a constant, never-ending process. And one of the things I so appreciate about Michael, Michael is a consummate student. He is always learning, always growing. He has all these amazing guests on his show that are expansive in so many dimensions and directions. The guy is brilliant. And when he came into our business, he became a student of the business. And it has been so inspiring to watch him really develop into, he's a leader no matter what he does, but now he's a leader in his networking business. And it's beautiful to watch. Any other comments or questions from anybody? Has this been helpful?
Yeah, Michael might want to say something. He's in.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Michael.
Oh,
I
I,
was,
I
I
didn't. You
was
didn't
the
know I was
host.
here. You're
Yeah,
like,
I made sure I got him for y'all.
I
you're
didn't
like,
know you
put
were
me on a
here.
pedestal there. That's beautiful, Robin. Thank you. But to add what you're saying, and that everything you said, it was phenomenal. Uh, you know, having taught hand to hand and being in combat and so forth. Now, a lot of you guys are like, I've never been in, hand to hand fighting or in combat. So what do you mean? It's like it's similar. Well, your body's responses, if you feel uncomfortable about something, is the same responses as those that are in combat. It's no difference. So I learned how to be in these environments and be completely comfortable. So one of those ways is to learn to breathe. You have to breathe. Deep breathing, natural, calm breathing. If you feel tension in your body, you learn to relax it, just let it go, right? Wide angle vision. If you can put your hands up like this and you can see your hands, that's wide angle vision. It activates your alpha brainwave state so that you can pick up signals from people. All right. So not only is it great for combat, but it's also great for interpersonal skills. So it's all part of that. Wide angle vision. Learn to breathe because when you're, things are like problem for you, You start to do shallow breathing. You become tunnel visioned. All right. So learning how to open yourself up so you're widening a vision, breathe, let tension go from your body will allow you to, in different circumstances that are, you're not comfortable with, it'll allow you to be comfortable in them. And so whether I'm hand-to-hand fighting or in a combat zone, I can still be comfortable. If I'm having, a conversation with someone they're unusual, like I do almost every day, I'm very comfortable. I'm comfortable with them. All of us that have had conversations, Lynn, Jen, everybody, Jen can tell you probably some amazing conversations she's been uncomfortable with, but you learn how to be comfortable. All right. So that's the interpersonal skills that Robin was talking about that all of us can benefit from. It's absolutely incredible that I was able to use all the stuff from all of my career and bring it into this business. So thanks, Robin, for your amazing help, helping me make the transition into one of I think, the most successful and uh, amazing companies that's out there right now. And with I was looking at the X2O machine, all the stuff that's coming out with that. Oh my gosh, it's going to take, X39 was great, but the water machine is going to take it to such a great level again. So great time to be in the business, and you have amazing people like Robin and Gregory that are helping us, Jen, Roxanne, myself. We're all behind you to help you guys, advance in your LifeWave business. It's a great time to be around. So thanks to everybody for coming. And is there any final comments?
I just had one more thing based on what you just said. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because you didn't do what you did without practicing.
Right.
Before you get to combat, you practiced a lot. So when you were in the situation, you knew what to do, you knew how to respond. And it's the same thing when you're learning anything new. You want to practice, practice, practice. Because the more you practice, the more confidence you get, the more skilled you are, the more effective you are. So practice in a safe environment. When Michael practiced, combat, he did it in a safe place first before he was in danger territory. Now we don't end up in danger territory, but we want to really practice with people that we can make mistakes with and feel okay. So practicing will make a big difference. And say to your friends, I am just new in this business. I need to practice. Can I practice with you? Can I present to you what I want to say to my prospects? I'm not asking you to buy anything, do anything. I just need to practice, and it will build your confidence and your strength to be successful. So I really, really appreciate you. I'm so glad you were here, Michael. Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know how much you heard, but I'm glad you were here.
Oh, absolutely. I heard a nice little bit. So thanks everyone. We're all like, busy doing lots of different things. I was glad you guys were able to start the show without me. Great job, Tracy and
Yeah, Tracy
Jen
Joe
and
did it. She
yep.
pulled it
Well,
off.
we all did it. We all
You
did it.
pulled it
Teamwork.
off,
Yeah.
Tracy Joe.
Love it.
I am
Teamwork.
make my life great. Right, right, right. But I did want to
There
say
you
this
go.
because, and this is a positive thing because I'm not an it's all gooder because that don't work for me because I have discernment training, but I am learning how to say no. And you need to learn how to say no to people, you guys, because yes is a word given to people that earn it from you. Sorry,
Mm.
just me, but you're gonna have to say no a lot too. Got to know your limits. That's
Beautiful.
how you get successful. That's how we got this far, by learning how to say no to certain things. So
Well, Stephen Covey would say, you say no because you have a bigger yes inside.
that's
Ooh,
right.
I like that. I
Yep.
Love
I
it.
love your
do.
quote.
That's absolutely true. I
And that's,
am a yes.
yes, yes,
A
yes.
bigger
Well,
yes.
I love being with all of you. I support you in having success beyond your expectations. Keep working on yourself. It is a personal development program with a compensation plan. Reach out to your teammates if you need support, if you want feedback,
Mm.
ask for it. Ask for the books and resources that they love to learn from, and just become better and better and better in life. If you keep working on yourself, your life will just get better and better and better. Okay? Well, thanks everyone. Have a fabulous weekend.
Oh, we will.
Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thanks,
so
Robin.
much.
Does that, Roxanne?
Thanks
How
so
do you
much, Robin. Thanks.
What's
Thanks,
that?
everyone.
Oh, reactions. How do you make it go bubbly?
Oh, the top line, the top reactions. There you go.
We all learn together. We all learn together. I love it.
I
Everybody.
like the balloons.
Love you guys. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you,
Love you guys.
everybody.
Thanks.
Stay in the love vibration.
Glad you're safe, Michael.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
See you in a couple days, Jen.
Yeah, see you in a couple days. Bye,
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Big love.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
Sally,
you.
in New
Thank you,
Zealand.
Jen.
Oh,
Thank you,
bless
Robin.
all.